Jump Space, formerly known as Jump Ship, is finally out in early access and I've been loving my time with it. This game has heaps of potential. Today though, I'm breaking the game down with a guide of how the game works in its current early access state, which means if you're watching this in a year from now, things will likely have changed. Before we get going though, if you like sci-fi games, consider subscribing. News, views, guides, all that shenanigans. Everything will be timestamped in the description, so if there's one thing that you're after or you want to skip to a section, it'll all be there for you. We're going to start with the absolute basics of Jump Space and its missions and mechanics. This game has 9 different mission types at launch that will vary from region to region. A mission will give you 3 different pieces of information before you enter it. The estimated time it takes to complete based upon how many jumps are in the mission, the difficulty of the mission, and the mission objective type, which is great. You can do a quick 20-minute one or some that are estimated for over an hour and a half. Let's talk about the mission's mechanics and currencies. Jump Space is very much about scavenging resources throughout your various jumps and bringing those resources back to the hangar with you. Throughout your journey, you'll find ship components, weapons, map fragments, artifacts, and many more items, all with different uses that net different rewards for successfully retrieving them. There are 4 main currencies within Jump Space, 3 of which are permanent, 1 being temporary, since Jump Space is a roguelite at heart. The temporary currency is Materia. At the start of each mission, you'll be granted some materia for that mission, but you can use a disassembler throughout the mission to increase your materia amount. Materia is gathered from destroyed ships and then collected using your ship's materia deposits, small amounts that can be found on the floor, or from disassembling items. Materia has several uses at launch. One is to use your assembly station, which can be used to craft ammo, shields, ship health, items, all of that good stuff. The second is to revive fallen teammates. The third is to replenish ammo or health using your onboard ship stations. And finally, it can be used as a currency when you find a trade station on one of the longer mission types. At these trade stations, you can use materia and exchange them for artifacts. At the end of every run, all materia is wiped. The next currency is Salvage, which is basically the credit currency. Throughout your runs, as I say, you'll be picking up all manner of items from weapons to stims to artifacts to scrap you find on the floor. At the end of a run, any items on board your ship that haven't been crafted by the assembler using materia will be exchanged for scrap, which will reward you with a load of credits. Whenever you hover over an item, you'll see it has both a materia value and a scrap value. Materia is the amount of materia that you would get if you shoved the item in the disassembler. Scrap is the credits that you will receive if it's on board your ship at the end of a run. Unfortunately, right now at launch, there is nothing to spend credits on, but soon you will be able to spend them on both artifacts and consumables to bring into a run with you. Right now you can see 2 vendors in the hangar that both say this is coming soon, and that is where I assume you'll be spending those credits. The third currency of Jump Space is Materia ingots. Obviously, one of the main draws of this game is the ship component customization. This is the ability to modify which engine you take on your ship or what cannons you're using. Every time you find a new component, you bring it back to the hangar and you can then install that component onto the ship itself. Not only that, but missions grant 3 rewards for completion: XP, credits, and materia ingots. So completing a mission may guarantee 1 materia ingot. However, for each ship component that you bring back, whether that's a new component or a duplicate, you'll net yourself a materia ingot. So let's say upon completing a mission, I was given 2 materia ingots for completing it, and I bring back 5 ship components, I will get a total of 7 materia ingots. These ingots are used to upgrade the level of your ship components, like increasing the speed of your engines or the firepower of your cannons. All ship components start at Mark 1 and can be upgraded to Mark 3 at their highest. Under a ship component, it will give you a brief synopsis on the benefits, like this engine having the ability to fire off flares, for example, if missiles are about to hit. It's important to note that ship components do require being powered up when you're on the ship. So yes, in the hangar you install them on the ship, but when you're on the ship itself, you need to make sure they are powered on at the reactor. Ship components themselves can be found in all the different mission types. Sometimes an actual part of the run will specialize in components, otherwise it might just be in a chest at the end of a run. The fourth and final currency of Jump Space is map chart fragments. When you're selecting what mission you want to do, you will get some regional information. A region will tell you how many components or map chart fragments are left to be discovered within that region. You can see that here, that this region still has many ship components and map chart fragments to be discovered and taken back to the hangar. Map chart fragments are often a mission objective within one of the jumps in a larger mission, so those jumps that are often 1 hour to 1.5 often are more likely to have a map chart fragment section within it, so yeah, that's how I found most of mine. These help unlock new areas, resulting in new mission types and components within that new region to get for your ship. Map fragments are not universal in that I have 2 regions here left to be unlocked, but collecting 1 fragment does not count as progress towards both regions. At launch, there are 5 regions to play in and 9 different mission types. So, to recap, Materia is the temporary currency that expires at the end of a mission. Anything crafted using Materia and the assembler does not give scrap at the end of a mission. Scrap is based upon all the items that you've collected in a mission that are left upon your ship. Materia ingots are based upon the amount given for mission completion and the amount of ship components brought back and left on your ship at the end. Map chart fragments need to also be on your ship at mission completion to count towards a new region unlocking. So what else carries over mission to mission? When you successfully complete a mission, anything that you are currently carrying in your inventory will remain in your inventory. So if you have a materia stash on you, you can then use that in your next run. Only one though. Weapons, stims, ammo boxes, anything that is on your guy or girl, as long as you do not fail a mission or return from a mission early. An important item are artifacts. You'll pick these up when scavenging and they basically act like modifiers or boons. Artifacts need to be placed onto your ship before you jump, otherwise they will be destroyed unless you literally get the artifact that says this does not happen. Artifacts are destroyed upon reaching the end of a mission. They also have levels that can be upgraded using another artifact. So if you get an artifact you really like, you place it on the ship and then you pick up a different one that doesn't really tickle your pickle, you can use that artifact to upgrade the level of the artifact that is already installed on the ship. Artifacts can also be bought using materia at trade outposts when you encounter one during a run. Let's talk about weapons and other items. Just like ship components, weapons have different rarities to them, often relating to scopes, damage and other features. At launch, weapons can go all the way up to Mark III. You can refill weapon ammo using on-foot ammo boxes, or if you're in the big ship, the ammo station using materia. Your multi-tool pistol has unlimited ammo however. Speaking of ships, there's 2 ships at the start of Jump Space. The first is the big ship that you start off with, suited for a bigger crew. The second ship you will unlock by discovering a hull that you need to bring back during one of the quests. This is niftier, more suited for dogfights and a smaller crew, given that the interior space is much smaller, but it's got absolutely arse shields, so yeah, there's that. What I find pretty cool is the trade-off when it comes to ship selection. I mentioned the shields, but the smaller ship does not have a turret system, but can be fitted with 1 special weapon, whereas the bigger ship has a turret system and can be fitted with 2 special weapons, though it's a lot harder to maintain the ship. If you're playing solo, an AI bot called Buddy will help you out, whether that's jumping on the cannons, scanning the area, or helping you out of any on-foot incursions. I can't speak too much on how viable he is on the harder difficulties, as I've mostly played co-op, but so far when I have played solo, he's been pretty competent and funny. In terms of content of the game, at launch there's 9 mission types, 5 regions, chapter 1 of the story, 8 weapon types, a server browser, 26 unlockable ship components that go across engines, reactors, turrets, and more to come in chapter 2, 3 and beyond. Some final parts of the guide. You can customize your ship's exteriors and interiors in regards to the colours alongside your ship's name. Completing favors will unlock different spacesuits and helmets, which can also have its colours customized. Mission difficulty only seems to impact the amount of XP and credits obtained, and does not seem to have an impact on components or map charts available, though this one is really hard to test, so I can't be 100% sure on that one. What I really like is Jump Space regions are fluid in that they have rotating mission types on a daily basis, so one day it might be a sabotage and artillery missions, the next day a distress call. This was something I was worried about when map fragments and components are tied to a particular region, so it's good that regions do have strong variety and change it up. So, to recap, 4 different currencies, Materia being the only temporary one that dissipates at the end of a mission, scrap pertains to the amount of credits you receive, components both new and duplicates reward Materia ingots, and map fragments help unlock new regions resulting in new mission types and components to unlock. Components once brought back can be installed onto the ship and leveled up to Mark III using those Materia ingots. Right now, credits are useless but will soon be used to purchase both consumables or artifacts to take onto a mission with you. Artifacts are only used on a per run basis and are destroyed in between jumps if not installed onto the ship. There are 8 weapon types, 5 of which go up to Mark III. Any items in your personal inventory at the end of a successful mission are carried forward into your next run. Finally, this game is incredible and I'm so excited at its future. If I've missed anything or you have any questions, then hit me in the comments below. What are you thinking about Jump Space so far? I'll be covering this game, so consider subscribing alongside other sci-fi games when it comes to news, reviews, guides, streams, the full shebang. If this guide helped, consider dropping a like or a hype. Regardless, I hope you have a terrific day. Play games, get gains, and I will catch you in the next one.